What's up?
It's been a really interesting 12 hours. I'm tired. So, I wrote a book that's still trying to hit me, like, up here. It's so crazy. But one of the craziest things about it was that somebody that I admire a great deal said that they would share their thoughts about my book and actually allow me to put it on the front cover. If you've been hanging out here for a while, you probably know Gary's been a great mentor to me, and so this meant a lot. And I was thinking, how am I gonna get a copy of this book in his hands? Because obviously he should have a copy, but you don't just like put it in the mail. I don't want to put it in the mail, but I kind of wanted to just like give it to him and have another opportunity to say thanks. And I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to wait until next time I'm in New York. And then Tuesday at 1 o'clock, I got an email. The subject line said, "Event tonight with Gary and Damon John." So yeah, I opened that email real quick. Essentially somebody that works with Gary was like, "Hey, we'd love to have you at this event tonight if you can make it." And I was like, "Oh, cool. I guess he doesn't know I'm in Columbus, Ohio. That's okay, we can work with this." So I just went to Vincenzo and I was like, I just got this email. And I was like, the event's at 6:30 tonight. So dang, I wish we would have gotten like maybe like 24 hours notice or even 8 hours notice. We were given 5.5 hours of notice, and I'm in Columbus and the event's in New York. They're not that far away. A lot of people don't even realize Columbus, Ohio is in Eastern time. Yes, we share the same time zone as New York City. And if you can get a direct flight out of John Glenn International Airport here in Columbus, a one-way flight to LaGuardia with American Airlines was exactly 2 hours. So I just thought, what are the chances that maybe there's a flight? Meanwhile, we're launching a book right now. So pretty much my entire days have been booked with interviews. I was about to go on an interview. So I had 40 minutes to brainstorm while I was waiting to come on and do my segment. Vin and I started looking up flights. And there was a flight in a half an hour from that moment, which there was zero chance of us being able to buy a flight and get on it that quickly. And then there was one more direct flight that would get us to New York at 6 p.m. for a 6:30 event. So I do my interview, I have to cancel another one, and I had to apologize profusely for that because, this stuff's gonna be on the internet. It's not like you can call in sick. I finished the first interview, I canceled the second one, and Vincenzo and I bolt to the airport. LaGuardia, New York City, baby.
Well, hopefully. Let's hope this happens.
They better get us on this plane, because I'm all dressed up, somewhere to go. We get to the American counter, they don't want to sell us the ticket, we're calling American, we're talking to the ladies at the counter. It's like 45 minutes until this last flight out of Columbus is going to get into New York. Somehow, some way, we made it happen. Essentially, we had to get booked for a later flight, get through security, go to the counter of the flight we wanted and say, "Hey, how about you get us on this flight, please? Please, pretty please. I just canceled a bunch of appointments to do this, please. They're really important appointments, I swear, look at me. They're important, I swear." And he bumped us up to that flight. So then suddenly we were on a plane and we were on our way to New York. We land at LaGuardia. It was spring in Columbus and it's winter in New York, so I realized I forgot a coat. We are currently in the back end of the American Airlines terminal at LaGuardia Airport waiting for Uber in New York City. We hopped in an Uber and we went to Damon John's new co-working space. And essentially, he was having his second night of grand opening where he was interviewing Gary Vaynerchuk, sort of a fireside chat. So we went and we basically watched this fireside chat.
Everybody loves to hit me up, Gary Vee hustling. I look at their account and they're like playing ping pong at 4:30. Like, people don't understand what hustle is.
During the live Q&A, I actually got to use YouTube mobile live streaming, which had hit my phone that day. Like, that day it showed up, and I got to use it for the first time at that event. So I just thought, how perfect is this? It doesn't matter how many times I think you see Gary speak. I think if you're motivated by his message and you believe in it, it's always such a good experience. I always think of something new or learn something new every time I hear him. Every time. And I think I've become a stronger business person every single time. Not to mention, Shark Tank's Damon John was running this whole thing, and I was like, wow, what is happening? This is so cool. So we ran into Alex, who invited us. We basically went up after the fireside chat. He came back out to do like the selfies and things like that. Got to talk to him for just a couple of minutes and then went up on stage, and I was able to hand him my book. Like, I was able to say, you know, here, thank you. Thank you for helping me make this happen. Thank you for helping me be a success. Thank you for helping me make the book a success. And he checked it to make sure that it was signed. And I said, of course, what do you think this is? Amateur hour? And then he handed it to D-Rock because I knew he would, because obviously D-Rock will take it back to the office for him. That was really cool. It was like full circle. Thanks for inspiring me. I wrote a book. You wrote the cover testimonial, and now I'm handing it to you. It's a real thing. I said I would do it, and I did it. And that was just such a good feeling. Once the whole thing was over, we actually were gonna be hanging out with D-Rock after, because, you know, we didn't have anywhere to be, just a flight the next morning. And we ended up going back to VaynerMedia offices because he had to go make some edits to a video. That life, that vlogging life. And so I was like, hey D-Rock, you got that book I gave Gary that I signed for him? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, can I borrow it? I probably broke some rule. I don't know. I'm just hustling. Gary can't be mad because I'm just hustling. Essentially, while, you know, D-Rock was making edits and things, I went into where he films and I put my book on his bookshelf because obviously I'm right there. What am I gonna do? Just like leave that to chance? No, I'm gonna put it there so that it'll hopefully be there and he'll see it and he'll leave it there. Or he will not leave it there and he'll take it down. I guess we'll find out. But I don't care, there's a whole bunch of stuff on that shelf. So, I just wanted my book to be one of them. Can you blame me? A couple of burgers and drinks later, and a couple of hours went by, and we were on a flight back to Columbus, 6 a.m. Landed at 7:30, 8 o'clock. And it was awesome. This is super bizarre, right? Like, did she seriously just get on a last minute flight to go and see someone do something she's seen him do a million times just to hand him a book? Really? I think I have designed my life to be a little bit crazy, and I like it that way. I really like my routines, and I like my normalcy, but I also really love when I have the guts to be spontaneous, and in that moment I was feeling the guts to be spontaneous. There's just something about being like, you said I was invited, so I showed up, even though I flew from the Midwest to get here. And I think when you're trying to go after the life you want, you have to do some crazy things sometimes. At the minimum, hopefully it made for an entertaining video. Thank you, Gary, once again, for inspiring me. I talk about you all the time, and I think it's because I'm an ambassador of the message that you share. I think you can be a fan of someone, but my fandom has more to do with what he believes in than anything else, which is why I just feel the humanity from him. It's not about losing your mind just because someone's in the room. It's about showing him the respect of like, you have affected me. And I actually feel like I got to feel that for the first time when people came to my book signing, that I may have done something positive enough for them to go, I'm gonna come to your book signing. Like, that's so bonkers to me. And I like to let the people that have done good things for me in my life know when they have. And I like to do big things when it's time to tell them. If this is a learning lesson whatsoever, I hope it is, that you take a chance on something not working out or not being perfect or not being 100% reasonable, just so you'll do it. There's so little do happening in the world, and there is so much talk. I don't like to do the talk so much. Like, I don't even like to talk about the things I want to do sometimes, because I would rather do them. and then talk about it. Because I find that to be such an anomaly these days. How many people are doing that? Then again, I mean, I think I could talk about things more that I want to do so that more people know what I want to do so they might be able to help me, but like, there's just something in me that's like, just do it, prove it. It's such a cool feeling. And I took that trip because it's a story that me and Vin are gonna be able to tell and laugh about. That made it 100% worth it. And I got to do the one thing I wanted to do. The one thing I wanted to do was hand Gary my book. In a moment where there's slight exclusivity, there's not the masses like trying to tackle him down to the ground. I just got to like look him in the eye and say, thank you. Here is your copy of my book. No charge. I hope you'll do something big for someone who has inspired you, or just do something big because it makes you feel good about the fact that you are doing and taking action for the life you want. Thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for those of you who watched the live stream. I know that was kind of crazy for this channel, and I'm trying to figure out how we work that live streaming element, especially with mobile, into Savvy Sexy Social. So if you have any ideas, I'd love to see those in the comments. Subscribe for good vibes. Make sure you hit the like button if you enjoyed this little story. Maybe I'll come up with more crazy things to do. Please remember to go after what you want, because that is always worth it. Cheers. There it is. Acknowledgements. To my mom, to my dad, to my fiance. Skip all those parts.
Skip those losers.
Yes! What?